The Cincinnati Bengals and Los Angeles Chargers meet up for an AFC showdown on Sunday in a battle of two teams looking to make the playoffs for the first time in a few years. Matt, I have a simple question for you. Two teams looking like real playoff contenders.
Yep.
Which of these two teams, between the Bengals and the Chargers, are most likely to win a playoff game this season?
I think it's the Chargers as of right now. Okay. I think that they are better built. If you think about it, this is a team that obviously did not play well last year. I blame that more on, I think we both blame that a little bit on the coaching because Herbert obviously had an amazing season.
Right.
Year before that, they almost make it in 2019 with Phillip Rivers. This is a team that has been a playoff contender and have playoff contention talent on that team. And so 100%. I think they're better set this year. Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, a great offensive line. Herbert's playing really well, one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. And although the defense is questionable at best, and we're going to talk about that, with Derwin James and Bosa, you have two guys that in a winner-take-all playoff game, those two can come up and make a big play if you go out and you tell them, we need this play. And so that's why I think the Chargers right now are the better team and more likely to win a playoff game this year.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Chargers. As you know, I love Jay Herbo, Justin Herbert. But I have to go with the Bengals. And as explosive and flashy as Cincinnati's offense is, it's actually that defense that gives me real optimism for their playoff hopes. They are – this is not something you've been able to say about Cincinnati over the last few years, but they get after your quarterback. They're sixth in the league in sacks this season. And Trey Hendrickson has been one of the best offseason acquisitions. He and Sam Hubbard have combined for 17.5 sacks this season. And that's important because, as I mentioned, this offense is explosive. Joe Burrow is one of the most, is one of the best young quarterbacks in the entire league. He has real weapons who he trusts as well. Obviously Jamar Chase is the guy. T. Higgins is another guy who he has real rapport with. And Tyler Boyd is a great number 3 option. Even C.J. Uzomah has kind of stepped up into that pass-catching tight end role, and Joe Mixon is third in the league in rushing. So this is a real balanced team on both sides of the ball, and it's that balance that makes me believe that they can win a playoff game this season. And obviously they have your coach of the year in Zach Taylor.
They do.
And the biggest thing, just talking about that playoffs, I think the Bengals also have a good chance of hosting a playoff game, something that the Chargers have a 0% chance of doing because they're not going to win the AFC West. We know that's the Chiefs division. So give me the Bengals in terms of the best chances of these two to win a playoff game.
You know what? I get that. And I would say that as of right now, it's kind of both teams have a chance to win their divisions as far as where they're set up currently. They've both been able to win some games against the top teams.
But you don't believe the Chargers have a chance to win?
I think they still have a chance.
Really?
As much as the AFC West is the wild, wild west right now. And they have been proven that they can beat Kansas City.
They did it already, right?
They did it already.
Yeah.
Obviously, the loss against Denver is tricky, and basically everyone's trading blows. But I think that they definitely still have that chance if they can start to win and basically play like the team that everybody has seen them in their best moments.
Sure.
It's about the consistency, and I think that's the same with the Bengals.
100%.
They can blow out the Ravens, but then just get embarrassed last week. And so it's like, what are you actually going to be at the end of the day? And that's why I think, that was why Taylor should be up there for Coach of the Year. That's why Staley should be up there, because it's going to be on those two at the end of the day to really get their teams ready.
100%.
And actually play like the playoff teams that we both think they are.
And again, you mentioned it's what these teams are going to look like, at the end, late December, early January. And I just really believe that the Bengals are kind of built for playoff football. They have a running game that they can rely on. They have a defense that can get after your quarterback, and that's important. Obviously, the Chargers have Joey Bosa, Derwin James looking around, that secondary making plays. But the Bengals as a unit defensively, Jesse Bates back at safety is one of the most underrated players in the league. So I think this is a young team that's ready to win now. And this is another thing, too, I didn't even mention, just talking about that explosive offense. They scored 40 on Baltimore and Pittsburgh. That's not something you typically see in AFC North matchups, which just speaks to how explosive, this offense is. So
no, I get that, but I will say, you kind of said it right there. The young team. This is a young team. You talk With the Chargers, you got those veterans. Eckler has been around for a while. Keenan Allen has been a top wide receiver for a decent amount of time. Mike Williams, who I know you were pretty high on at the beginning of the season with those connections that he had with Justin Herbert. This is still that team that has a little bit more veteran leadership, has guys that have been around, they have that experience. I think that plays big when you are going to be going into a playoff game. And not only that, the defense, as bad as it has been at times, especially against the run, they have been good against the pass. And when you are able to shut down the pass, if they're going to run the ball, that's fine. With how dynamic that Chargers offense can be, if they get up, it's not going to be a run game for their opponent. They're going to have to pass the ball. They're going to have to try and catch up again, and that plays into what the Chargers are, good at as far as defense and offense.
Sure thing. Can't wait to see that showdown on Sunday afternoon, but that's going to do it for us here, for Scott Procter and my guy Matt Morris. We'll catch you next time.